Silverstone, the wonderful, iconic home of British motor racing, has opened its doors to the virtual world. Welcome to GT Academy. GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3. The 6 fastest gamers from the UK and Ireland have come to Silverstone to compete for a seat in a professional racing team.
Very, very good. Well done. Brilliant. It's exactly the same in a car. Always things going on around you. Doesn't matter. Qualifying. Focus. Lap as quick as you can.
They've raced on their consoles, but now they have just a week to prove that they've got what it takes to race for real.
It's become a reality for them. Yesterday they were just gamers, today they're drivers.
I've been invited to the home of British motor racing to witness firsthand the unique driver selection process. The gamers will be put through the most demanding physical and mental challenges of their lives as they try to impress former Formula 1 driver Johnny Herbert and endurance race specialist Rob Barth.
Bit of a danger of implosion there, maybe. We'll keep our eye on it.
As judges, they've been charged with selecting just one driver to compete in a head-to-head race against the fastest gamers from Europe. The winner of that race will earn a seat at the Dubai 24 Hours.
Today, it's not really about the track, is it? It's about testing their brains.
It is definitely about testing their brains. I think it's going to be testing our brains. It's going to be an interesting one today because they're going to really have to put all their energies into it mentally, physically at the same time.
And what we're going to do today is to find out your levels of focus and concentration.
Yesterday, 2 gamers were sent home, and by the end of today, another will leave the academy.
Get the legs moving, that's better.
We're going to be testing both their physical reaction and their mental reactions with 2 challenges, so looking forward to seeing how they cope with that.
Best way to do is...
The judges have called in mind performance coach Simon Fitchett. He has experience working with the top names in Formula 1, including Sergio Perez and David Coulthard.
We want to put them in a situation where they're tired, they want to stop, they want to lie down, but they can't, and they've got to do something which requires a lot of focus, and that is what a driver needs, a lot of focus. Faster, come on, faster, really focus, faster, faster, faster. Get the legs moving, that's better, that's better. Brilliant, well done. We shouldn't hear any more about, oh, wasn't happy about this, wasn't happy about that. They've now demonstrated that they can focus and shut things out, and that is what they now need to do for the rest of this competition. And we'll see whether they actually do it.
The first challenge of the day takes the gamers to the pit garage to test their problem-solving skills.
Guys, we're down to the final 4. Things are really going to ramp up from this point on.
Johnny's going to drive the car and he's going to report in a problem. Your job is to work with the team and help them fix it. So David and Thomas, you'll be working as one group. Jack and Des, you'll be working as the other pair.
The gamers must work as race engineers and help Johnny complete his fastest possible lap on the Stowe circuit.
Well, Johnny, you're about to jump in the car now. You're going to test the guys' mechanical skills and their teamwork. Why do they need to know this?
Well, they need to be able to project themselves. Now, if that's a driver, or if that's as engineers as they're going to be, my engineer, they've got to understand what they're doing. They've got to do it very, very quickly as well.
I think they're capable of this, right?
It's a different role for them. Clearly, we've turned things around now. Normally, we've seen them as the drivers and us looking in, and it'll be interesting to see how they cope with the change round. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Johnny will enter the pit lane with a problem, and the gamers will have 2 minutes to assess the situation and fix it. They can adjust 3 crucial elements on the car. The first is the dampers, or shock absorbers. These dampen the motion of the wheels relative to the chassis. The stiffer the setting, the more reactive the car will be to driver inputs and the track surface. But too stiff, the wheels can lock under braking. Softer dampers will allow the car to glide over bumps in the track, but too soft, the chassis becomes much harder to control through high-speed sections of the circuit. The second is the roll bar settings. A low or soft setting will make the car's weight transfer slower but easier to control. A higher setting will make the car more responsive but more difficult to control, especially through corners where the rear end could slide out. Finally, they will be able to adjust the brake balance. This directly affects the car's understeer and oversteer. A higher front brake balance could cause a front wheel to lock while braking into the corner. The driver will have to react quickly to correct this to avoid damaging the tyre. A higher rear brake balance could promote oversteer when braking into a corner, forcing the driver to work harder when turning the wheel.
I'll let you go get yourself sorted. Good Johnny or bad Johnny?
Bad Johnny.
Fantastic.
First to take the challenge are Jack and Des. The back end of Johnny's car is clearly loose under braking.
Oh, he locked up there. Did he? Oh! Stupid! Be understeering most of the time, but yeah, if that's a bit of oversteer then. Well, he must have been on the throttle a bit too soon. Yeah.
Des seems to be talking a good game, but needs to remember that there will be 3 possible faults: the dampers, the roll bar settings, or the brake balance.
Knack together and come and bloody well get this sorted. Are you? The bloody thing's loose as under braking. Every time I'm going into a corner and I'm shifting down, the back end's just snapping around all the time.
Des and Jack have 2 minutes to get Johnny back out on the track.
Fix the thing.
Increase the rear brake bias to start anyway.
No, I've got a problem with the back end. I want to increase it.
Des' suggestion will make the problem worse.
Yeah.
It's locking up at the rear. We need to increase the brake bias so the brakes will be able to pressure out evenly.
Right,
They're
where do I
not
go
picking
then?
up on the clues.
Come on,
This
quickly.
time Jack
Which way
gets it
do I
wrong.
go?
Increase the rear.
No, I've got locking on the rear.
Right, increase the front.
Increase the front. Exactly. Okay, do that. Adjust it.
They finally make the decision to wind the brake balance to the front, which should solve Johnny's oversteer problem, but he spent a lot of time in the pits.
It's one of those things where I think you kind of had a bit of miscommunication with him there when we're trying to explain what to do as well.
Yeah.
That looks a bit better.
Yeah, he's definitely improved through that corner. He looked like he was much more stable.
Oh yeah, there's way too much bias on the rears there, definitely. What was it?
You were correct in the end by going to the front, but basically we lost a lot of time.
Increase the rear.
No, I've got locking on the rear.
Right, increase the front.
Increase the front. You got it wrong with the brake balance because it was all at the back, and you kept saying, go to the back, go to the back. Failed the test.
That was a very high pressure situation. We kind of were a bit hesitant.
We knew exactly what the problem was, but it was just trying to translate it at that time, and it sort of caught us off guard.
Des and Jack fail the challenge for spending over 2 minutes in the pits. Miscommunication like this in Dubai could cost them almost an entire lap, which could be the difference between being on or off the podium. Up next, it's Thomas and David. Johnny is almost halfway around the circuit and is experiencing a lot of understeer, but the guys haven't even started to discuss the problem.
I had a massive amount of understeer. Everything was really good. I had a 30-second lead. Now I've lost absolutely bloody everything. As soon as I turn, it's okay. Get more lock on, mid-corner, massive push, all the way through to the exit. We've got to fix that. We've got to get rid of that.
Basically less front anti-roll.
Let's answer. Okay, go, do it. Let's go.
David answers immediately without any discussion. Thomas is just a bystander. David has asked for a higher anti-roll bar setting, which should make the car more responsive for Johnny. But now he seems uncertain about his decision and finally looks to Thomas for reassurance.
Definitely made the right decision here, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Send them back out.
Should make the front more supple, basically.
They get Johnny back out in under 2 minutes, and now they just have to wait.
I think it went pretty well, yeah. Very stressful. But you know, it's racing. It's high stress.
How was it?
Okay, guys, yeah, much better. That was the correct decision. But what you were really, really poor about was, especially you, I didn't see your face. You weren't there when we were trying to discuss what to do, but we did the right thing, so well done.
David got the problem identified for Johnny, and then we were working hard to try and solve the problem.
I feel like I've got an understanding for this stuff. Basically, you've just got to make a decision from your knowledge and go with that.
Only the second team fixed the problem in the allotted time. But how did Johnny rate the overall communication skills of the gamers?
Right. Let's have a quick overview, score them up, mark them up.
Well, I think that basically, with Jack and Dad, I think I've only got to give them really a 4. And then with Thomas and David, I did like David because David was always around telling me what was going on, so I'd probably give them a 5.
Coming up on GT Academy, another gamer has to leave race camp.
He's off. He's off.
GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3. GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3. The fastest virtual racers from the UK and Ireland have come to the GT Academy in Silverstone to compete for a seat in a professional race team.
Yesterday they were just gamers, today they're drivers.
I've got a backstage pass to witness the unique driver selection process.
Fire it up.
They've shown that they can race on a game, but now they must prove to 2 motorsport judges that they have what it takes to race for real. If they do, they will go on to drive in the Dubai 24-hour endurance race. They're halfway through an intensive week of physical and mental training, and there's just a few hours before one of the remaining 4 gamers has to leave the academy. So it's off-site and on to the next challenge. Johnny, I've only one thing to say to you. Yeah. Diddling, ding, 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 ding. This is the motor racing Wild West, essentially, isn't it? I mean, this is grassroots, hardcore, petrol head heaven.
Welcome. What a wonderful place. Okay, guys, we've seen you on the racetrack. This is going to be something completely different. This is going to see how fast you can go in a straight line. Welcome to Santapod.
You'll be driving 370Z race cars head-to-head. The format is very straightforward. You'll be doing 2 semi-finals and then a final race. The first across the line will be the winner.
The track is a straight line, just 402 meters long. Concentration and reaction speed is vital for the gamers.
Right, guys, this looks fairly straightforward. Drive a car really fast, straight.
Yeah.
But obviously there's more to it than that. What are you looking for? What is the test?
We're looking for great reaction speed to the start lights. We're then looking for good technique, not too much wheel spin to get the car rolling as quick as they can.
Then they've got to react with the clutch, to the throttle, and then finally the gear shift. All that is going to happen in a very short space of time.
And if they make any sort of mistake, if they have too much wheel spin, if they miss a gear, just game over straight away.
How's your reaction speed, by the way? Is it good?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, excellent. Well done.
When they're in the car and about to do a challenge, their mind should be clear. It's not a game, it's serious.
I've never done anything like this before, so it's a new experience, completely different to what we've been doing at Silverstone.
It's all kind of fuel and horsepower and noise and speed.
In these cars, the only time we've been in first gear is pulling out of the pits really slowly and like trying not to stall. With this, we have to gun it straight away, you know?
I'm a bit of an old woman on the road, very, very safe. But here I've got to put my anti-aging cream on and become more of a man and, you know, get it done and hopefully do well.
Right, our guys are up. First semi-final.
Yeah, we've got Williams in lane 1 and then Jack O'Neill in lane 2 in car 7. Be interesting to see how David works this one through. You know, he's learning and getting better It's that kind of process-driven brain he has.
Oh, great start from Williams, really good.
Bit of spin. And a 14.9.
0.3 of a second.
Yeah.
And exactly 1 mile an hour difference.
Despite David's good start, Jack takes the win and is the first gamer through to the final.
Well done, mate. Go on,
well done.
Really good.
That was quite tight, wasn't it? It was a bit scruffy at the end of the day. I think there was definitely room for improvement, but thankfully, got another shot.
It was quick. It was quick. Well done. Well done.
David, that was real close.
It was close, yeah.
Semi-final number 2 was Thomas Gibson against Des Foley.
Here we go. Oh,
Oh, big this gear.
Yeah. There's a lot of wheel spin though from Thomas as well.
Yeah.
So they're still head to head. I think we're going to see Des get this one. I don't think we're going to get a good time out of this. 15.3.
15.3.
15.3, 7.3, 15.3.
So Des goes through.
So Des versus Jack for the final.
So far, Jack has had the quickest reactions out of all the gamers. His mind has been working most like that of a professional racer. In a race situation, a driver needs to ensure that several parts of the body react in perfect synchronicity. Reaction time is the ability to respond quickly to an external stimulus. Here, the Christmas tree lights are the stimulus received first into the driver's eyes. An electrical signal travels at around 100 meters per second through the optic nerve to the driver's brain. The brain then decides whether or not to react dependent on the color of the light. Once this decision has been made, the brain sends an electrical impulse via the nervous system to the appropriate body parts, which take action through the muscles. If Jack can turn his attention to the key stimulus and minimize distractions, he could go even faster.
As long as he's now focused and calmed himself in the car, he's got a very good chance of winning this.
It's a reoccurring theme with Des. How he behaves before something, how he reacts to something.
Yeah. With his character type, he's either going to be up or down, and you can see a difference in his body language.
Jack makes no mistake and powers through to the finish line.
Jack's doing very well at the moment, but I mean, when you're at the top, there's only one way to go, really, if you don't keep it there. So we're all going to be hot on his heels, and it's going to. Hopefully, he'll start to feel the pressure soon.
If you can't think you're not going to win the event, then there's no point in trying. You're not going to do it. So you've always got to keep that positive mind frame. And so far, it's carried me in quite good stead in the competition.
So Jack wins the challenge, with a disappointed Des finishing runner-up. For the gamers, it's back to Silverstone to find out who would be leaving the academy.
Guys, this is elimination time. We're going to lose one of you.
It's a straight fight between the bottom 2 drivers in our points standings. Des and Thomas, you'll be taking part. Whoever loses is going home.
It will be a 2-lap race around the Stowe circuit. The gamers will start at opposite sides of the track. The first one back to their starting position keeps their place at the academy.
The race in the Dubai 24-hour race would be a dream come true. The possibility of becoming a real racing driver is just everything I've ever wanted, really.
If somebody offered me a racing contract, I'd drop absolutely everything. It's been a dream of mine for so long.
Lads, who's going to handle this better? It's very hard to tell with Thomas. He's so quiet, he's so introverted. Des, other end of the scale, quite outspoken.
Yeah, they're very different personality-wise. I mean, Des, I'm guessing he's going to try and get as much information as possible from the instructor beforehand, just to give him any advantage.
don't get any advice from you as we go on?
Nothing at all, mate. I'm just here.
I think, as you rightly said, David, I think Tom's got less to lose because I think Des has done pretty well yesterday.
Yeah.
And was.
And Tom knows he's got it all to do, basically.
Yeah.
Father, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Lights on. Green, green, green.
It's difficult to say who's leading at this point. I think it looks like Des. Oh, it's going to be bloody close. It's Thomas.
Tom is faster.
Tom's got the lead by about just under a second.
Yeah.
Second, roughly. Oh, he's off. He's off. He's off. He's off.
Des just has to keep it steady to win this thing and stay in the competition.
Thomas is a shame. He had the pace, but he couldn't take the pressure.
Fist pump visible from pit wall.
Just made a mistake in that final run, and that's what gave it away, basically. I did think I had it in the bag, but you just let it slip.
Next time on GT Academy, the UK and Ireland winner is chosen to take part in the final race against the best gamers from Europe.
Let's go and tell the boys.
Yeah. It's now time to find out whether you'll be staying with us or going home.
GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3.